It doesn't matter how long you choose to live in denial. One day you'll be caught up with the realities and could no longer deny, of course, what is staring at us. As a people, we have been living in self-deception and denial as a country. But unfortunately, the truth keeps staring at us. To this end, the lawmaker from Plateau State, Bagus, tells his constituency that sequel to the killings that have continued in some communities in Plateau State, the member represented Jos South and Jos East constituency in the House of Representatives, Dakchon Bakus, on Monday argued, okay, on Monday urged residents to defend themselves, insisting it was constitutional to do so. Eh? Really? It is constitutional to defend yourself when the government fell in their primary responsibility of governance, which is to protect life and property. Then what have Nigerians populace been waiting all this while, leaving their survival at the mercy of the passive, inept security operatives who perhaps do not care what happens to them? Unfortunately, this has resulted to the killings of hundreds, or if not thousands, or tens of thousands of the Nigerian populace. It's quite unfortunate. The extent of killing, especially in the last dispensation of Muhammadu Buhari, is quite alarming that we begin to ask, what is the value of an average Nigerian? What is the life of value of an average Nigerian in the face of these current realities? We've seen where Fulani herders or militias ransack, invade several communities in the Jos and, of course, other regions of the country, leaving scores of children and defenseless mothers lifeless. And yet it appears the security operatives are paying a lip service or expressing some level of incompetence to arrest these culprits. The unfortunate incident is that they will strike a community and still go scot-free without being captured by the security operatives. And oftentimes when the villagers or communal settings will want to repel such attack, the military will also come to shield those criminals under the disguise of restoring peace and order. But now the lawmaker could no longer hold it. He understood the position of the law. And now, of course, from the Daily Post reports, after the 19 people were killed just this Saturday, you can understand, and Sunday in Jos South and Mangu, LGA of the state. You see, though 24 hours curfew was imposed on Mangu LGA on Sunday by Governor Caleb Mutfwang to help restore normalcy. How long can you continue to restore normalcy? After communities have been invaded, even most times the villagers have alleged to have put a call to some military base or security operatives. They yet could not come to their rescue 24 hours or 48 hours after such distress call. What kind of normalcy are you restoring when people's ancestral home is being invaded and overrun by the Fulani militias and other, of course, dastard elements whose primary objective and aim is to overrun these communities, these locals, displace them, and take over the inheritance of these people. And after that, the only thing the government can do is to impose coffee, 24 hours coffee, 48 hours coffee. How does that restore those who has died? How does that pacify the people? Rather than taking steps to make sure to foster further attacks on those communities, you end up imposing coffee. And these people will also escape the community after this wedding. They will also retire to their safe havens. And the only thing the government knew how to do best is to impose coffee after the damage has been done, after the killing has happened, and those perpetrators of those callous and heinous crime are nowhere to be found. Not even a single one of them is being arrested. Even they are still within the Nigerian territorial integrity or sovereignty. They murder, they kill, they rape, they destroy the fabrics of the existence of these local communities and even towns. And the only thing the response of the government is that people should be calm while they investigate. This investigation has been ongoing ever since. Only God knows. It's quite unfortunate. My question remains, who will save us from this calamity, from this evil? You see, I'm so disturbed. But now that the lawmaker has cited the position of the Constitution, that the right to self-defense is an inalienable right which is constitutionally recognized, then do you have to blame the locals or the communities should they decide to form, of course, vigilantes or security outfits in order to secure their own families? This involves families who are being killed and massacred, butchered, raped and murdered on daily basis. This is a daily experience. I know if you have experienced such incidents, you won't even recover from the psychological impact in your lifetime. Honestly, is watch your children being killed, hacked, mad, your brothers, your uncles and siblings, and yet what the government can only tell us is to impose coffee. Everybody should stay at home. Doing what? I salute the courage of this young man. Of course, Bagus for this uh, effrontery, for this courage to say the truth. He could no longer bear it. He could no longer tolerate the insensitivity and indifference on the part of the government over the plight of these defenseless people, of these people who has become victim of negligence, a victim of orchestrated impunity running through the system without having a recourse to the position of the Constitution regarding such circumstances, that where the government fails to protect the people has a right to self-defense. This is a natural and inalienable right given to us by God Himself, the Creator, that we have that instinct to respond to any condition that is not friendly or that threatens our existence. And some people might want to condemn him now. I will want to know what is your position. This is not a matter of joke. This involves humanity. This involves human being as you are. You might be elsewhere where there is absolute tranquility, serenity, and calmness. that does not in any way suggest that these people deserve what they are passing through. I want you to lend your voice in this call and, of course, via the comment section. Let us know what is in your mind and how you feel or want to react in this development because it is an issue of great importance. You see, while reacting to the renewed violence in the LGA, in a statement signed and sent to our correspondents, Bagus, a lawmaker, urged the citizenry to protect themselves based on the nation's constitution, saying every citizen has the right to self-defense and the right to exercise it. Do you see it? Do you see it? Is it enshrined in the Nigerian constitution that you have the right to self-defense and the right to exercise the self-defense? I am going somewhere. The Benue people that have been massacred, oftentimes, of course, the locals rise up to defend themselves, and you see the militaries or some state actors using, of course, the security operatives to intimidate them and suppress them from doing what is constitutionally recognized and empowered by the law. And the same military operatives cannot even fish out the culprits, could not even fish them out from their hideouts. This is quite unfortunate. I'm so disappointed at the level of destruction going on, unavoidable destruction. Why should a community be overrun several times and yet the same people are not being captured, are not being apprehended by the security operatives? And the same security operatives will be the ones stopping any move by the communities to defend themselves. And you tell me that they are not complicit? I mean, the security operatives or those concerned are not complicit of what is going on? How can Nigerian citizens be slaughtered at will? How can Nigerian citizens be taken to the slaughter? The unfortunate thing is that even the women, the defenseless children or innocent children, are victims of this cruelty. Honestly, it is so sad. It is so disgusting that the government will watch children killed in this 21st century without going after the killers of these children, no matter under whatever disguise, be it Islamic or religious extremism. Nobody has right to take the life of another citizen, but not in Nigeria. The unfortunate thing is that events and issues, circumstances have shown that some people have the right to take life at will, have the right to overrun communities, and nobody will apprehend them. Of course, even the law will not have its course on them. So it is sadly, honestly, innocent citizens are being attacked and killed on a daily basis in Plateau State. What is happening? And the world is watching. Responsible personalities are watching this pogrom, this genocidal moves, and yet keep quiet. Particularly in Riyom, Barikin Ladi, and Mangu LGS. These are just not just limited to these two LGS. Several communities have been attacked. Hundreds have lost their lives since May 2023. You can imagine. And even it appears that immediately the handover was done, the killers resumed the operations. You can imagine. We thought that the dispensation of Ahmed Bola Tinubu, with the reshuffling of these military heads, operatives, there will be some level of decorum. There will be some level of those responsibility, or those who has been appointed into such office, uh, chief of staffs or army staffs or whatever, will swing into action to get to the root of this crisis. But unfortunately, it appears to be the same old story, recycling. See, they resume the hostility, the attacks, and the brutality, the killings is taking on unusual dimension. You see, there are several displaced persons, lands taken over, farmlands destroyed. What a wicked world. He decried, what indeed a wicked world? What kind of wicked world is this? Where people, we are in the farming seasons. You can imagine uh, locals who or communities who has expended almost their life savings to farm, to cultivate, to invest in their farmlands, only to get those investment crops being destroyed just within a single raid. They are destroying it as a result of wickedness, not just because they want to make use of it, so that they can cause the people pain, and of course ensure that either they die by sword or by starvation. Oh no, this is quite unfortunate. Well, the list is endless, and just on Saturday, 12 people were killed in Mango, and also 7 of my constituency who are minors were targeted and gunned down. This is sad, barbaric, and must be condemned, he lamented. Quite unfortunate. It is quite unfortunate. The list is endless, honestly. And what do you think that could be done now? Now that the lawmaker has referred or made reference to the constitutional provision that allows people for self-defense, do you think, of course, the security operatives should be blamed if the locals refuse to take actions from this moment? It appears that people are not conversant with the constitutional provisions, or perhaps the political will by the executive or even the lawmakers to implement and ensure that the rights of the people and the life of the people are being protected. Possibly they want to protect their personal interests against the life and security of the people they represent. But thank God for this great man of courage who has summoned great courage, knowing that he must represent his own people by reminding them the provision of the Constitution. Now, will you blame those who resort to self-defense? Yes. No wonder. Of course, the pro-Biafran agitators, oftentimes they have used placards and, of course, billboards, but they were always being attacked by the security operatives. You see, just for declaring their political interests and affiliation, the right to belong to or choose not to or to belong to any political affiliation. They were killed and massacred, and not until they resort to the use of arms. And you can see the story have changed. The sit at home that have lingered for since 3rd of this month is winding up today, and this for these reasons you can see the compliance, because these people are determined to defend what they believe is constitutionally established even by the law of the country, that you have the right to self-defense. Now, if this becomes true, then what becomes the fate of the Nigerian state? Because when people knew and understood that they have rights to defend themselves, when the security operatives refuse to defend them or go after the killers of their constituents or their fellow nationalities or ethnic nationalities, and they decide to defend themselves, I hope the security operatives will have no constitutional ground to fight them. Because when you fail to do what is needful and someone decides to do it, you shouldn't blame the person because such person can no longer, live his life or the security of his life and that of his loved ones at the mercy of the security operatives who don't even care. Most times, when they are called, they could not respond in time if actually they will. And by then, because the damage has been done and the perpetrators of those crimes retire to their safe havens, the next thing is to impose coffee. It's quite sad. I hope the Nigerian populace will get to understand the provisions of the Constitution that allows them to protect the life and that of their loved ones, and they begin to act because the rights that recognizes self-defense also empowers you to exercise the same liberty or constitutional provision. If that is not done well, you have yourself to blame, and that is the position. Well, let me leave you here until I hope to have your own comment or observations via the comment section. Please don't forget to hit the subscription button, give us thumbs up as we continue to bring you unbiased reportage of events here in Cowwave TV.